Now, the next thing we're going to look at here is going to be the equality and relational operators. I'm going to write it here. What these are, well, these are great because they embrace, again, what really happens in computation, which is the control flow or the deciding of what statements need to run when certain conditions are met. Okay, so we're getting there. So equality and relational operators. Well, the ones that we're going to be looking at here are going to be the double equal, right? This is equal to equals. It's not just one equal, because one equal is assignment. Double is, of course, comparison. And then we are going to use the not equal. So we have the exclamation mark and equal. So first exclamation mark and then equal. That means not equal. And we have greater than. We have less than. Right? Then we have greater than or equal to. Then we have less than or equal to, and that's pretty much it. Now let's see how all of these work. Now again, these will make a lot of sense when we get to the if statements and the control flow section, which is coming very soon here. Okay, so let's start with the equal. When we are instantiating or when we are creating assigning variables, we say int number equal. Remember, this is 1 equal 34. So we're saying here, we're saying number now will hold 34 or a variable. Now, if we use the double equal, we are comparing two things. Now, the beauty here is that these are relational operators and equality. What this means is we are looking at the relation between two things, because in order for you to compare something, you have to compare to something, which means comparison always requires a second thing. So with that in mind, when we compare a thing in computing, we get a result. Now, the result that we get here, this conditional, this relational result, is going to be whether it's true or false. Because if I say compare 4 and 2, the expression could only be true or false. Okay? So if I go ahead and say, for instance, 4, I'm going to say print. I'm going to say, just a good example, I'm going to say 4 double equals 2. My question to you is, I said there's a comparison. It can either be true or false. What type we talked about will hold either true or false? If you said Boolean, you are correct. Let's run this and see what's going to happen. Look at that, it says false, right? Let me go ahead and get rid of this, right? We say 4 is equal. We are comparing the relation between 4 and 2. Well, 4 is not equal to 2. Therefore, we get false. See? Same thing I could have said, pi equal to gravity. Run. False. Why? Well, pi is 3.14, gravity is 9.8. You see? So the idea here is when we compare two things, we can then say, okay, let's compare if pi is equal to gravity. If that is not true, then let's do something else. That is one of the usages, right? Because it's either true or false. Now, if I say pi here again, what do you think is going to happen? It says true because indeed pi is equal to pi. Now, what if I say the exclamation mark? So this means pi not equal to pi. What do you think is going to happen? Should say false. Why? Because pi is not equal to pi. It's not true. Because pi is indeed equal to pi because they're 3.14. So we've used the equal relational operator and the not equal. We could also go ahead and use the greater than, okay, which is this one here. Pi is greater than gravity, for instance. And of course, it's going to say false because pi is not greater than gravity. If you go back and change to pi is less than gravity, should be true. Now, if we say, go back, pi is greater than or equal to gravity, let's see what's going to happen. It's going to still say false because pi, first of all, is not greater than gravity, nor is it equal to gravity. That's why we still have false. But if we just change this like this, pi is less than or greater than gravity, because this is indeed true to be less. If this is greater or equal to gravity, then this should be true, right? This is going to be true. There we go. So you've now learned these equality and relational operators, which are equal, not equal, greater, less than, greater than, or equal, less than, or equal. And again, these will make a lot more sense once we start looking at branching our code or our statements in this section where we're going to start looking at the if statements and for loops and so forth. Again, if this is something that is going a little bit slower for you, the cool thing here, since this is a video, you can always fast forward or skip all of this if this is too easy for you. Okay, that's no problem. But either way, I would recommend you just go through these videos. That way you have a sense of what's really going on with this language, because there's always subtle differences, right? Even though you know another language and this may seem like, oh yeah, this is just too basic for me. There's a few things here and there that will help you really understand this language better if you just go through this. All right? Perfect. I hope you're having fun. I'll see you in the next video.